Terry Walhus with Spring.net and NetrootsNation, and we're at the change-congress.org booth with Monica. Monica, tell us what this is all about.
Change Congress is an organization founded by Lawrence Lessig and Joe Trippi, and we're set out to end corruption in Congress. We're doing it by asking candidates and congressional leaders to sign on to 4 pledges that we have on our website that support government transparency, that have to do with public financing of campaigns, the reduction of earmarks, and other government transparency legislation.
So tell us about Lawrence Lessig and what he does.
Well, he's been in the free culture internet movement for a long time. I think about maybe 7 years ago he started Creative Commons, so a lot of people know him from that effort. And what he realized when he was working with Creative Commons is there were a lot of things that Congress was getting wrong, a lot of simple, easy things that Congress was getting wrong. So he decided to switch his focus to Congress and ending corruption in Congress, so that more things that were easy and good for our country could get passed easily.
So do you work directly with Lawrence Lessig?
I am. I'm the executive director for Change Congress.
How is it working? What's he do every day?
What does he do every day? Well, he's a very busy man. We see him sort of regularly, but for the most part, our communication ongoingly is IM and email and things like that.
On the road line. Are you on the road line as well?
Some. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What kind of conferences and events have you been going to?
We were just at the Personal Democracy Forum in New York, and recently he spoke at DIA in Washington. He'll also be at South by Southwest in March, Professor Lessig. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he seems to always show up.
Yeah.
Big with the blog, right?
That's right, yeah.
And do y'all have a website?
Yes, change-congress.org.
And what happens on your website?
Well, candidates can sign up to pledge, but more importantly, citizens can learn how their congressional members stand on our issues and begin to put pressure on their congressional members if, number one, they haven't signed on to any of our pledges. They can also donate to support candidates who are Change Congress candidates, and they can also volunteer. There's a lot of volunteer opportunities for tagging and doing Wikipedia-style work that will help educate our members as to where different congressional leaders stand on our transparency issues.
Great. And what do you think of NetrootsNation?
So far, it's productive. There's a lot of interesting people here.
Right, great. Great. We've been talking to Monica Walsh with Change Congress, change-congress.org. This is Paul Terry Walhus with Spring.net and NetrootsNation. Hey, Brendan, tell me about GRIST.
GRIST is an online environmental news and commentary website. It's serious journalism, but injected with a sense of humor, a sense of irreverence. It's actually entertaining to read. Newsweek described us as a daily show for the environment, a reference we'll gladly take.
That's outstanding. There needs to be something like that. How long have you guys been doing that?
We've been around since 1999 officially. We started as part of the Earth Day Network. But then in 2003, we became our own independent nonprofit.
So you guys have a website. What's on the website? What do you have on there?
Well, the focus is on environmental issues, but from an urban perspective. So there's a lot of groups that cover issues like air, land, water, and conservation, and they do that really well. Where we saw where there was kind of a gap of information was approaching it more from the perspective of choices that you're faced with on a daily basis and how those choices have an impact on the environment. So, for example, transportation, food, energy, climate, lifestyle choices. So that's the kind of stuff that we talk about on the site, is more, the things that you're involved with on a daily basis.
Well, what are the elements of the site? I mean, is it blogs? Is it articles? Is it video? How podcasts? What do you have on there?
Yeah, it's a combination. It's all of that, actually. It started out as more, we started out in 1999, so back then it was more magazine-style format. And, as the web has evolved, so have we in terms of how we report and how we cover, the environment from a journalistic perspective. So we have podcasts on the site, we have a blog on the site, we have long-form articles, we've got short-form sort of tips and how-to guides. We're getting into video. We're going to start creating our own video segments, advice. So it's a little bit of everything.
Do you have like a membership or social networking component on it?
Not like a traditional social network when you think of like a Facebook or a MySpace. And you can create an account and you can comment on stories. You can comment on the blog, so you can participate in the conversation, which we encourage, and we actually have a very active community on the blog. But as we continue to grow and move into more of these Web 2.0 opportunities, then we will be integrating more, give our readers more chances to interact, not only with us, but with each other as well.
Now, where are you guys based and how numerous are you?
We're based out of Seattle. We have reporters. Our editorial staff is spread across the country. So we have our political reporters based in D.C., and so she covers the Hill. We have a reporter based out of North Carolina who covers food issues for us. And then we have a network of freelancers across the country that we also work with. In terms of audience size, we reach about 750,000 readers a month. It's a combination of unique visitors to our website as well as readers that are signed up to our email list.
You're making the rounds of conventions like Netroots.
Yeah, we don't travel a lot, to be honest. As a nonprofit, we put more of our budget goes to editorial than it goes to traveling to exhibit at conventions. But Netroots was one that we felt was really important to be at, and the progressive community is a community that we feel has embraced environmental issues, and so it's a good opportunity for us to familiarize more people with GRIST.
Now, Brendan, what's your official title with your organization?
Official title is marketing manager.
Marketing manager.
Yeah.
Who's the head guy with your organization?
Chip Giller founded it. Founder and president.
How many people do you have altogether?
Full-time, we're around 20.
20.
Yep. So a good-sized organization.
Are you right in downtown Seattle?
We are, yep. Right down in Pioneer Square.
All right. Well, this has been Brendan with grist.com.
.org. Nonprofit.
Grist.org.
Yep.
This is Paul Terry Walhus of NetrootsNation and Spring.net. Thank you. Hey, this is Paul Terry Walhus with Spring.net here in NetrootsNation with the Barack Obama for President folks. How you doing?
Hi.
What's going on with you guys here at NetrootsNation?
We're volunteering today, trying to help everyone, just letting people know about the 50-state strategy. We've got some gear that we're passing out. DNC is also promoting the 50-state strategy. They're next to us here. And we're also helping to coordinate and tell people about the restart of the Texas campaign here. It's sort of been a little dormant since the primaries finished in this area, and we're getting ready in a couple weeks to sort of reboot, and so we're getting back in touch with more volunteers.
It'd be nice if he came here, wouldn't it?
It sure would, yeah. Yeah, I don't believe that he's coming for this event, but
Are you an Austinite?
yeah.
So, great. Well, nice talking to you folks, and good luck with the campaign.
Thank you.
This is Paul Terry
Well,
Walhus
I mean,
with Spring.net.
definitely can pass it on to the...
All right, well, listen, what are you guys doing for fun? So, we're going to What do you mean we do it for fun? We're speaking with bloggers. That's not fun. You know, here's the difference between working at Indie Talk and Maxim Radio. Maxim Radio, when you go on the road, you're like at a Hawaiian Tropic contest, right? And here I'm hanging out with 2,000 bloggers. That's the difference between the two channels. Yeah, exactly. There is a lot of that. Everyone's got a point of view. They do. Absolutely. And most people they're sort of in agreement here for the most part. For the most part. Yeah. And today, the Blog Bunker, 5 o'clock. Chris Bowers, rockstar blogger. Okay? It'll be blogtastic. It'll be blogtastic.
I was blogging this broad last night, and she blogged all over.
Oh.
I hear Dr. J is there.
Dr. J is here.
Yes, is my gun. Hey, here I am.
What are you doing? Now you're a single guy.
He's the single guy.
I'm not a single guy.
No, he's not. No, he's got a significant other.
No, he's really hoping you blog there. Blog up with somebody. All right. Well, you guys enjoy that, and I'm a little jealous, I think.
You should be. You should be.
We'll look forward to you.
I'll bring you back something. Want me to bring you back something?
Can you bring me back one of them?
A pocket protector? A pocket protector?
Give me a laptop.
A mouse pad.
Now, are they PCs or Macs that you see?
That's where the real divide is here. You know, that's where the friction is.
Progressive left, you'd have all Macs.
No.
What's that guy over there? What is that? That looks like
no.
Is that a Mac or
I would
PC?
say it's about a 40-60 split, and Mac is losing. You know why? I think the Macs are more expensive. Not as much money to the left.
I'd love to get one of these bloggers on right now and just ask them if they're lonely.
Okay, well,
Close guy.
Dr. J, get a blogger for Keith, please.
I don't want to stand up because I just spilled coffee on myself.
You see what happened is he spilled coffee on his pants.
I'm a blogger.
Are you a blogger? You're a blogger?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to bring in one of the younger bloggers.
Okay.
Actually,
I wanted to see.
he looks like a nice guy. He's been videotaping our whole show here.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah. Give him some headgear so he can hear Pete.
The whole
And
show.
Dr. J, why don't you videotape him being interviewed, Dr. J? Or you can hand it to me. I used to do this for a
We're
living.
fishing at this up.
Real good. We're talking about Ron Paul here in just a moment here. Pete Mouth. But we're talking to Vinnie Paul Terry, who's down at the net.
At this NetrootsNation conference. Go ahead.
Paul, I just want to break down some stereotypes of some of the bloggers. Do you attend also science fiction conventions or anything like that?
Negative.
Okay, good. You have a large network of social network of friends and so on.
I have
Online social network.
I have 6,000 followers on Twitter, going on 6,500.
Well, that's great. But real personal friends, like, do you ever have any of them in your
I know all of them personally. I visit them, they visit me.
He's like Wilt Chamberlain.
No, those are my. You know what Twitter is?
I don't because real friends. But Paul, I'd like to get a Twitter account. I'd like to increase my following. How old are you?
I'm 62.
You're 62.
Yeah, he sounds young, doesn't he?
Oh, he does. But I didn't know people of his age, with that internet or that tech savvy. Usually that's stereotype.
I mean, I had a computer in this town before anybody else did. I was way ahead of the curve. Now I'm trying to drag racing like hell to keep up with these young guys, like these two guys right here.
We've got a Bradley blogger on there. Just get very cocky about when he started. Well, listen, plug the blog one more time, Paul. We'll look into it. What's it called?
Spring.net/blog, or you can just go to spring.net and click on the blog link and you'll get there.
You're going to get a lot more Twitter friends.
I got 6,500 right now, and my Twitter name is Springnet, by the way.
Boy, are you in there. All right, well, listen, good luck twittering yourself, and thank you for joining us, and spread the word about Sirius Satellite Radio and Indie Talk on the blog.
Oh yeah, we got it in our Toyota, in our little
Look at that.
car.
He's a subscriber. He's a customer, a client.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, well, thank you, Paul. And Vinnie?
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Okay, thank you.
Is he still there?
He's still, yeah, he can hear everything you're saying. Can you stand up?
I'm wearing my
He's got a
shirt
Twitter
from
shirt?
the other. No, it's from the other conference that was across the street.
All right,
Search engine marketing conference. I just came through.
Does he have his Vulcan ears on, or did he pull them off?
I'm not.
No, he's dressed very normal. He's got a nice hat too.
Firefox hat.
He's got a Firefox hat.
Boy, are you a real wow. Like, he has a hat with an internet search browser. And man, can you imagine what kind of underwear are you wearing? Internet Explorer?
Hook 'em horns, baby. I'm wearing the burnt orange.
At least you've got one mainstream interest.
Football, baby. This is Texas.
There's no way you watch football.
There's way. Way.
Adding people to his Twitter account. Thank you, Paul. And Vinnie, thank you. Everybody listen to Vinnie Politan at 5 o'clock. He's hosting the Black Bunker. Then tomorrow, right here, anytime, 11 to 2. Vinnie, thanks, pal.
Thank you, Pete.
Vinny's awesome.
Now let's get back. I can't point them out. I honestly can't. I have not read the book. I'll let others do that here on the...
Hey, this is Paul Terry Walhus with Spring.net. We're here with Sirius Satellite Radio. Is Adam Curry still on Sirius, or is he off of there?
You know what? I'm not sure. I know we've got a whole bunch of folks from
Howard Stern's on there.
Howard Stern is there, and all the people from the original MTV are still there as well. Greg Brady does a show. Cousin Brucey does a show. That's on the music side. We're on the talk side. We're Indie Talk Sirius 110. And the name Indie, it's not about car racing. It's independent. And as most talk radio either is all the way to the left or all the way to the right, and the people who listen have usually 99% of the time agree with the host, and the host tells them what to think. Indie Talk is a different concept. What we do is we let people tell us what they think, and then we have a civil discussion about it all. So you can agree with me, disagree with me when I'm on the air. Sometimes I'm a little bit more conservative on some issues. I might be a little bit more liberal on others. But there's no wrong opinions, just different opinions.
So you're all over the map, is what you're saying.
Yeah, our network is. It absolutely is. It's all over the map, and we have a series of hosts, and each host brings something a little different to the table. My show is me and Vinnie. It's the morning show. So some would say I might be a little bit more to the right on most things, but socially maybe a little bit more to the left. You've got Ron Silver, who most people are familiar with, the great actor and activist. And then we've got Pete Dominic from Pete's Big Mouth. And Pete is probably a little bit of the opposite of me. He's a little bit more to the left than to the right. But he goes, you know, it's really issue by issue, person by person, rather than just following the beat of, you know, what this party is saying or what that party is saying. And that's where Indie Talk is a little bit different than the other types of political talk that is out there right now.
What time of day do you come on? Central Daylight Time?
Central, okay. So I'm 6 to 9 in the east, which is, I guess, 7 to 10 in the morning. And it replays then from 10 to 1 later on in the same morning.
And is it podcast or streamed or on the internet? Also?
You can get it on the internet, but Sirius subscribers can get it on the internet because you need your password to get in. So if you're driving in your car and you're listening to the show, and then you get to work and you still want to listen to the end of the show, you can log on and hear it, or you can get one of those great stilettos that we sell.
Stilettos?
Yeah, it's a little device. It can record stuff, and it's like an old-fashioned. Remember a Walkman? It's like a Walkman, but it's got like a receiver on it, so you can walk around and receive the satellite signal. It also picks up the Wi-Fi signal as well. So if you're in a building that has Wi-Fi, you can get all the channels off of the internet as well.
Now, did you guys merge with XM?
I don't know anything about that. You have to call corporate to find out what's going on with all that.
All right, I heard something about that.
And it's great to be here at Netroots, by the way. This is a lot of fun, meeting some really interesting people, and what I love is the passion that everybody has. It's all about passion.
Who have you guys talked to? Anybody notable?
I tend to think that everyone we speak to is notable in some way. What we're trying to do is paint a picture for the listeners about who these bloggers are. And we started off today by kind of defining what blogging is, and getting one of the bloggers from Democracy for America came over and kind of taught us how to start blogging for people that have never done it before. We're going to have Chris Bowers is going to join us this afternoon on the program, and what we're basically doing is finding out whoever is floating around. But it's interesting to see all the different types of blogs. I mean, we spoke to people who do strictly social blogging and talk about themselves, and then of course the people that talk about politics from Colorado, Philadelphia, Texas. It's been interesting stuff.
How do you stay pumped up for a 3-hour show?
I know, it's not that hard. It sure beats working. Try to sit in a cubicle for 8 hours and do a real job. Those are the people that should be there.
How do you feed your mind and fuel yourself and get the ideas that you're going to talk about each day?
Well, you have producers, and together you meet probably the day we meet the day before the show, and we figure out kind of where we want to go, who we want to talk to. Here it's easy because the show almost produces itself. I mean, we find interesting people and we talk to them, and the show just takes off like that. But when we're doing the daily show, you got to figure out what's happening, what people are talking about.
You don't do the daily show.
Not the Daily Show, but
Jon Stewart does.
Right, Jon Stewart does the Daily Show, but I'm talking about my show that I do daily. Every day, Monday through Friday.
You clarify
I know.
that.
Yeah. What we do is, we find out what's happening, what are the headlines, what do people want to talk about. And we also talk with listeners as well. It's a call-in show. So that also kind of fuels the content of the show is, what people want to talk about.
What do you think the hottest topics are right now? What are the real hot topics?
Global warming is always huge.
Yeah.
Always huge. Global warming and it's kind of tied into the same thing, and gas prices. Because gas prices, we do a morning show, so most of the people that listen to the show are in their cars or in their trucks, and they're burning fuel, and they're hurting at the pumps, and they want to talk about it, and we're talking about it every day, and what candidates have solutions, what happens if this person gets elected, that person gets elected, should we drill here, should we not drill here, alternative sources, what's the answer? And let me tell you, we get a lot of mileage out of this gas crisis that we're having.
Yeah, I used to be a driller.
Oh, you were a driller?
Yeah, in the oil fields. Yeah, it's rough
Wow.
work.
Yeah.
Tough work. So what did you do before this?
Before this, I worked at Court TV. I hosted a show on Court TV and covered the biggest trials in the nation for about 7 or 8 years. And then I came to Sirius.
You like radio better than TV?
Well, here's the thing. On radio, there's so much freedom and time. There's freedom to go wherever you want to go, and there's time to do it. Television is literally like in a box. It's very, very formatted. You have to do things, and it's like you're only like scratching the surface. Whereas radio, you can really, get to the depth of whatever you're talking about. So, I enjoy radio, but don't get me wrong, I still love TV. I love the camera. I mean, come on, I love the camera. But TV and radio are both great mediums, and the thing that TV can do is it can show you pictures. It can show you what you're talking about. On radio, it's up to us to describe it. So that's the challenge.
We're talking with
Vinnie Politan.
Politan.
So you said Vince, but my friends call me Vinnie.
Vinnie.
You're my friend, so you call me Vinnie.
All right. So what social networks are you on, Vinnie?
None. I am married, and I network with my wife as many times a week as I can.
Where's the home base?
New Jersey, where 75% of the Vinnies live.
And then you broadcast
from Sirius, which is in New York City. Yeah,
so you
absolutely.
Commute.
I commute every day, but I do it when no one else is commuting. I leave at like 4 o'clock in the morning, so
that must be
no
nice.
traffic.
Yeah. So what's up next? What are you going to be talking about here and tomorrow and on in the week or so ahead? And tell us about the presidential thing too.
Well, we talk a lot about the presidential race, and obviously we've spent much more time on the Democrats in the last several months because of the race that continued between Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. But we'll be talking about this race throughout the summer. I mean, this is the topic. What we do is, on our show every Thursday, we go in depth. We take as much time as needed. We take one issue and we break down what McCain says about it, what Obama says about it. We find all their little sound bites and quotes and figure out where they stand on the issues, and then we throw it out to the listeners and get some feedback from them on who they're in tune with on those particular issues. So we're doing one issue a week until we have a new president. So that's one of the things we're doing.
What about that New York recovery?
Oh, yeah, we talked about that for a couple. That was interesting. That was, it's two things going on there. You've got, obviously...
That's right from your neck of the woods.
Yeah, right around the corner. Controversial. I think most people kind of understood what it was supposed to do, but they were all afraid of what other people might make of it. So we never spoke with any of the other people, because the other people, I guess, don't admit that they'll actually be influenced negatively by that, and didn't seem to get it. Everybody listens to me.
What is your program?
It's called Me and Vinnie, when me is you.
Oh, okay. Well, I believe that. Yeah.
Who's that on your lapel? That's
Isn't that great?
Who is it?
It's Obama.
Oh, it is.
Wait, look how it's a.
How's that Photoshop?
I don't know. It's the local folks, Democracy for Texas. And I mean, they've got posters that I love. Turn Texas Blue is the basic
Can it
thing.
happen?
I think so.
You think so?
Dallas County in 2006, every countywide person elected was a Democrat. They think Harris County will go, that's Houston, will go.
Harris County will go?
That's what they think, because of course, and it's the Obama, you know, I mean, the huge minority population. I know. Austin, of course, has always been. I worked for Molly Ivins for years. Do? Boy, I wish. I wish, because we need that voice out there. Rachel Meadows, the new Molly Ivins, I think. And Molly always called Travis County the little blue spot in the big red state. So there we are. So where
Let's see where we are. We gotta find our channels. There's so many channels to choose from on Sirius.
Yeah.
That sometimes it's difficult to find your channel.
What's what?
See, we are in the section called Entertain. Oh. See, what happened is this 110.
Yeah.
It used to be Court TV, and we just made the switch over to Indie Talk, so we're right here on
Okay,
110.
good. Okay, and I'm going to write Indie
Didn't
Talk.
Indie
Court
Talk.
TV turn into, what was the thing that turned into?
True TV.
True TV.
True, yeah.
Yeah, they had a great show called Black Gold.
Right. They hyped it up, so you must love that because that was all about drilling, right?
You know Dave Marsh? He's got a program on Sirius. He's a music writer. He's been doing it for years. His wife is Bruce Springsteen's manager. Oh, I'm sorry. Has been for a long time. Yeah. And he does a great talk show about music. Yeah.
Betsy Moon, huh?
Yeah.
Betsy Moon, what do you do?
I'm still on sabbatical. Is that what we say? I'm looking for work. I'm looking for paying work. Molly died last January, and I was her assistant for 6 years before that. So, and I gave myself many months to recover and then start looking, and then I decided I'd rather just keep doing all the little good jobs that I want to do. But I need funding. So send money. Money in the check.
What's the website?
Oh, betsymoon.org.
There you go. All right, we're going to wrap it up with Sirius.
All right.
Been great, Vinnie.
Thank you. Thanks for coming by.
What's your website?
V-I-N-N-I-E. They misspelled it.
What's your website?
VinniePolitan.com.
V-I-N-N-I-E.
Yeah, they left out. We left out the I for savings.
Okay. And we'll listen for you in the car. We got
Excellent.
Sirius in the car. So
Give us a call too. 877.
you'll know who I am now.
Yeah.
You'll have a face.
What's the number again? 866-994-6343.
So, final thoughts. What's running through your mind right now?
Well, I only had breakfast. I didn't have lunch. So I'm wondering if I need to have a snack before dinner, or if these guys will go for an early dinner. That's honestly what's on my mind right now.
These guys here?
That's my boss. That's my producer.
All right. They'll take you out to dinner, won't they?
Yeah. Well, yeah, he will.
All right.
See you later.
This is Paul Terry Walhus with Spring.net at NetrootsNation. Terry Walhus with Spring.net, and we're here at liepie.com, Liepie.com, and tell us who you are and what you're doing here, what this is all about, okay?
Okay. Well, my name is Jill, and I'm with liepie.com, and we're here because we're trying to shut down inaccurate viral emails that are spread from friend to friend, family member to family member, poisoning America with lies. That's what we're doing.
So how does that work? Give us the nuts and bolts of that. How do you do that?
Well, what we're trying to do is maybe instead of just slapping people up the head and saying you're wrong, here's the facts, we're trying to present it in a form that's more using humor to get the point across, something that's fun, something that will encourage people to maybe aspire to be better. And again, it's a fun place. We have a library where we collect and house all of our collection of lipies. We have a lipi reply center where if you would like to reply to a lipi, you can go there and we'll give you some tips on ways you can craft your own kind and respectful lipi reply to help shut these things down, because we need to put a stop to them. Yeah, you want to know what happened? I'm sorry, I'm looking at you and not the. Yeah. You know what happened? My sister sent me a viral email that was not true, and we ended up getting into an argument about it, and we didn't speak for 3 days. And so I decided, you know, there's got to be a better way. So I started thinking about different ways maybe it could be presented to be more palatable and less confrontational, to make it fun, to make it humorous, and to make people think about how important it is to tell the truth and to not spread lies.
You know, I've noticed in the past few days there's been a surge of emails like, you know, Obama's dead, and, you know, just lies.
Yeah.
And it's a new spamming technique, I guess.
Yeah.
To get you to open a piece of spam.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. It's just really become prevalent in the last 3 days. The spammers have switched tactics, and the subject of an email will be Hillary gets back in the race, or Obama dies. It's just an out-and-out thing that's so outrageous.
Oh my gosh!
It makes you stop in your tracks.
And then you open it up and it's some sort of advertisement for some awful porn site or something. Yeah. Well, now we're not really taking care of those. We're just more doing the ones that are, you know, like Obama doesn't put his hand over his heart during the Pledge of Allegiance. He is a secret Muslim who went to a madrasa. There's lipis out there right now about the drilling for oil in Anwar, and I mean, you name it. There's silly ones out there about, you know, there's one about Audrey Hepburn's beauty tips. You know, that Audrey Hepburn never had any of these beauty tips, but it's attributed to her. And there's just so many silly ones. There's warnings about viruses out there that there's no virus that's just as described by these things. So anyway, just a lot of lies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, where are you based?
Well, we're in North Carolina.
And what will we find on your website?
Well, like I said, you'll find the Library. That is our collection of lipis. It's a searchable database. You can get in there and look around and see what kind of lipis we have available. And if you find something that you think might be a lipi, you can search for it in our Library. We have our Lipi Reply Center that will help you craft your own lipi reply. So rather than sitting there helpless or else confronting people and making them angry, you can maybe come up with an appropriate reply to help shut it down. We even have a lipi conspiracy theory page where you can maybe get to the bottom of who's actually sending these lipis out. I'm curious about that. I don't know about you, but who's responsible for these things? Well, we might have the answer at lipi.com.
What do you think about spam?
What do I think about spam? Spam is an entirely different issue.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah, that's a different issue. Hate spam.
You get a lot of spam.
We try to block it and stop it as much as we can. But these lipis trickle in because they're from your friends and family. You can't stop them.
How do you find these?
Oh, well, most people have a lipier in their family.
Yeah.
This is somebody who, no matter how ridiculous, no matter how silly, they just send it on to every person in their address book. And so you get a constant stream of them, usually from, you know, 1 or 2 people, depending on how lucky you are to have.
They fall for it.
Yeah. But actually, the thing that's tricky is that generally lipiers are thoughtful people who have a wide circle of friends, who they are just wanting to send it to you as a gesture of friendship to let you know that you're in their thoughts. They're thinking about you, and they really very rarely have any type of ill intent. They're not out to get you. They're just somebody that this is kind of their way to reach out and let you know you're special. So that's another thing about lipis that makes them hard, because generally the person who sends them to you is somebody who loves you. So, you know, how can you get angry with them and throw a big fit and make a scene, because really their intention was not, of course, to make you mad. Their intention was just to let you know you're special. So I'm telling you, they're hard to fight. you can't fight them. You can't kill them with an axe. That's what Granny says. So.
All right, so you're doing something with humor and something you enjoy.
Yeah.
How do you like Netroots?
Oh, I love it. It's fun. I've met some really wonderful people stopping by to say hi, and very interesting crew, very friendly crew, very smart crew. So it's a nice group, having a good time.
All right, well, this has been LiePie.com.
LiePie.com, L-I-E, yeah, L-I-E-P-I-E.
And this is Paul Terry Walhus with spring.net at NetrootsNation.
One second, let me just finish sending this so I'm not leaving this in the middle.
Everyone, this is Paul Terry Walhus at NetrootsNation and with spring.net, and we're here with Rains Cohen, who's got a booth about co-housing and co-working. Tell us about both of those things. It's really interesting.
And Eco-Village too. Yeah, the whole concept is democracy begins at home. Paul, because we've had a lot of people here, involved in Netroots Nation and the yearly Coast conferences before it, say, "Oh boy, we're taking over the country. We can take the presidency. We can be in charge." But then they say, "Oh, my homeowners association is oppressing me," or they don't even know who their neighbors are to talk about organizing something or getting something done on their block. So I'm trying to be here to remind people: democracy begins at home. In your own home. Peaceable, nonviolent communication and tools for organizing between homes, in your neighborhood, knocking on doors. Like Howard Dean said out front just this afternoon, there's no substitute for long-term change, for knocking on doors, building relationships, and talking to people that you know to get real, lasting change in this country.
So what is the co-working movement all about?
Well, co-working is where people are going in together and sharing workspaces, organizing collaborative offices. You can think of them as sort of incubators, but they're not like designed just to hatch you and send you out into the world, dump you out into the cool, cold world. But people investing together, working together to rent an office and let people rent out desks within it, or allow drop-in spaces so people come and work instead of working at home and being so isolated, or working in a cafe and having to buy lots of coffee perhaps, or being not in a public space where you can't really have meetings. So you get the economies of scale. You get, okay, one laser printer, one really nice conference room, and then and people can use that as they need it, but have, just pay for their one desk's worth of space.
Have you seen the co-working places in Austin?
Yeah, I visited the site when I was here for South by Southwest last March. I visited the site for the Launchpad co-working downtown, and we're hoping to do a field trip to Conjuncture on Sunday, which is a co-working setting up over on 7th Street. It's very exciting. The movement is really popping up all over. I helped set up Berkeley, California co-working, and I've been part of ones in San Francisco and visited several others.
So what is life like in a co-working center?
Well, it's different. Everyone has its own character. So, some you look like from cubes and crayons in Menlo Park in Silicon Valley. There it's a shared child care facility. And so the idea is that working moms and people re-entering the workforce can have the support they need to not have to go and pick up and drop off the kids, but put it all together there, and also have professional office space. Citizen Space in San Francisco was, internet marketing and a bunch of internet developers in a small, funky space. Less than a mile away, Sandbox Suites is more of a corporate office rental kind of space, and so people need a professional-looking space and services package to back it up. I was just visiting one in Connecticut that was very much a corporate model. So it's a whole wide spectrum, but the whole idea is that the members themselves are involved in organizing it and have a stake in how it comes out. So it's lower risk in many ways because it's a shared venture. People share in the success of it, but still have their own businesses.
Now, co-housing. Do you live in a co-housing?
I live in Berkeley co-housing. I've lived there for more than 5 years now, and then another community, Swans Market in Oakland, before that. And there's 113 across the country, and more than 100 under development. In co-housing neighborhoods, people have their own homes. Private, usually a condo, but then a large shared area, a common house. We have our own kitchens, but we have meals together a few times a week. So So I know my neighbors. We operate by consensus. We work together on the design. I have to work with an architect. So it's just I live. You've heard of voluntary simplicity. It's sort of voluntary complexity. I live a richer life, but instead of worrying about maintenance of the structure, I'm worrying about maintaining good relationships with my neighbors. And I know what's going on in their lives, and they know what's going on in mine. And as a result, we learn more about each other and maybe about ourselves and support each other in the process.
So, how's that different from like a commune, say, in the 60s?
Headline writers like to talk to us as the communes of the 90s, or I guess the 2000s now. But I think we've learned a lot from the movements of other forms of community, communes, co-ops, cults, whatever. We have our own homes. The banks will finance, the cities will approve it as a condo as far as they're concerned. So as a result, it's not like, oh, we've got to share the dishes, doing the dishes, and we got to fight about that. Instead, we limit the part we have in common, and we can actually get closer. It's because it's more of a choice. It's not forced on us. And we train in consensus and conflict resolution and good group process skills. We know to bring in the professionals to get the help we need to make things work.
Now, what are you doing with this video setup here today?
Well, I've been showing some videos of co-housing in Europe because that has the best music set to it. Sort of Italian marching band. Sounds a little like klezmer music. But mostly sharing resources, bringing up websites. Earlier I was showing the Al Gore speech from today because I think it was so important. His so-called moonshot speech about climate change. I don't know if you know, I studied with him a year and a half ago as part of the Climate Project. He's trained 1,000 of us to give his slideshow. And recently had a reunion, and our mentor in it was Oregon Secretary of State Bill Bradbury, who was an undeclared superdelegate. And so this is the weekend that Obama was in town with that 70,000 person rally in Portland, and he was getting a lot of personal attention, but it's just feeling like, wow, we really are making a difference. We're getting people engaged, and I'm involved in the communities movement, and because we're changing the world one neighborhood at a time. We're giving people the tools to get greener they could afford to or they could think of doing on their own. And I think it's really going to be important, especially with rising gas prices and climate impacts, to be able to drive less, share more, live more simply, live more richly. And that's my friend Dave Wan did this great book that talks about this simple prosperity. He talks about the concept of real wealth. People may know his name because he co-authored Affluenza and Superbia, a couple of great books earlier on about the problem of people just going, oh, money, money, money is all that matters. This takes a deeper look back, and I definitely recommend it. Also, my friend Diana Leaf Christian wrote this great book, Finding Community. And co-housing is just the tip of the iceberg. There are many models out there. People think of communes and co-ops as something of the 60s, long gone, but quite a few have survived, and many have prospered, and many new ones are popping up all the time. There's a whole directory. I'm on the board of the Fellowship for Intentional Community that publishes this directory in Communities Magazine. So it's really, there's a back to the land movement going on and a back to the cities, and I've heard somebody call this recently the outposition. I think a world-changing editor came up with this, Alex Steffen, about how do we reconnect people with internet skills and go back out into the cities and out to the country. And maybe it's not to teach them because they may know more than we do, but maybe it's to go and listen and share and connect. And so that's exciting to me. There's a big movement going on.
Well, he's doing some exciting things. It sounds like you're traveling. Do you go to a lot of these shows like this?
I've been to all the Yearly Coast conferences and now NetrootsNation and some others. I'm trying to do more closer to home and look at my carbon footprint. I certainly found my role in life as a connector, a facilitator, matchmaker. So I'm looking at, okay, how can I do that well? How can I make it economically sustainable? I'm trying to be a co-housing coach and help people find community and help people create community.
And a co-working coach as well, right?
Exactly. It's all the same skills as what I've been doing in user groups for a quarter century. I helped start the Berkeley Mac user group way back when. And so now it's like, wow, it's the same things, studying it.
Still a big Mac guy?
Oh, absolutely. I haven't gone with the iPhone. The Sidekick is my platform of choice until the iPhone has a real keyboard. I've just spent too long, training on keyboards.
You're a QWERTY guy.
I'm a QWERTY guy, and give me a real keyboard. I'm hoping somebody will hack that with the iPhone and Bluetooth. But it's also pretty neat, actually, on the plane coming here and then here around the conference, I run into a bunch of people that I know from Mac days way back when. Former Apple Internet evangelists, tools makers, accelerator makers. There's a strong link with the progressive political movement and progressive computer user movement, which meant Mac user groups of the 80s and 90s. Oh, well, certainly you get the tech crowd moved over to Linux and it's leading edge. But hey, that's tied together enough with the Mac OS now. It's Unix at the core. So yeah, it's all one big happy family, at least we can hope.
Well, we're here with Democracy Begins at Home, co-housing, co-working, and eco-villages. What's your...
democracybeginsathome.org. It's a great place to start.
Do you have a blog?
I do some occasional blogging there. I'm more posting on Daily Kos, and I'm trying to make it more of a habit. I'm hoping to use this conference as a little push to say, okay, now I'm spending money to get people to come to the website. Maybe I should actually put something there.
What about Twitter, Facebook, MySpace?
Oh, I'm big on Twitter. It looks like today I will hit my 3,000th update on Twitter. And unlike some people who do it as a big public thing, I keep my feed private. I pick my followers. And as a result, I can write to my followers and have a very close relationship and be more open when what I say. It's not just anybody out there. And as a result, a closer relationship, and a lot of people have expressed appreciation for the info that I share, and especially because I go back and forth between worlds.
All right, well, I think that wraps it up. Your final thoughts, what's running through your mind right now?
It's really exciting. I just came from hearing Howard Dean out front as he arrived with a voter registration bus. And it's really exciting to hear him say exactly what I'm saying in here, that there's no substitute for knocking on doors, getting to know your neighbors, having several connections between now and the election. And it's great that they've got the tools out there to do that. And so I'm going to try to help talk about that, blog about it, and make sure people understand the reasons why, make a difference in the world.
All right, you've been listening to Rain's Caller with Democracy Begins at Home.org, and this is Paul Terry Walhus at NetrootsNation with Spring.net. Hey everyone, this is Paul Terry Walhus with Spring.net at NetrootsNation, and we're here with Paul Preston of Soapblocks.
Got it.
How are you doing, Paul?
It's actually soapblocks.net. I am doing well.
Tell us about what you're doing.
I am the creator, owner, and operator of Soapblocks, which is a blog, an online community blog platform. And we have 120 customers right now, and 80% of them are kind of progressive liberal causes. So we're here supporting our thing, trying to sell some sites, and have a good time.
You say you're a blog platform. Do you use your own homebrew blogging software?
That's right. Yeah, I'm a programmer by trade, so I actually built Soapblocks from the ground up, and then.
What is the difference between your blogging platform and say WordPress or Google?
Right. Well, we provide an online community. So basically, what we do is we allow for not only the owner to kind of post into the front page, but then your own readers can provide their own content and post that. And then there's kind of this recommendations kind of feature so that the good stuff can kind of bubble up to the top. And it's kind of reverse engineered from kind of what Daily Kos does now. And that's kind of what got Daily Kos to be the big site that it is today, is that community features.
So what happened with the Daily Kos that made it so good? Why is that?
Yeah, I would say it was because of the community features. You know, when I was starting out 3-4 years ago, you know, there's a lot of people who had their own blogs and were posting that, but you know, Marcos saw a little niche there and took the technology and gave it a place where anyone could kind of post whatever they wanted, and then allow the community to kind of decide what's good and what's bad. And because of that, then it became less about necessarily what one person was writing who owned the blog. It became, you know, more of a open source, if you will, kind of thing.
So the Daily Kos was the guy's name.
Right, yeah, Marcos. I can't pronounce his last name correctly. It's like Molitsas or something. But yeah, and he was in the army, and his army buddies called him Kos. So.
And that's what NetrootsNation grew throughout.
Right, yeah. Yeah, this is the third one of these for 2 years. It was called Yearly Coast. The first one was in Vegas. Last year was in Chicago, and this year we are in Austin, Texas.
Where are you going to be next year?
You know, I don't know when they announced that. We no idea.
I'm part of the Netroots organization also?
Not directly, no. So I'm just an exhibitor.
Okay. And what's in your guys' future? Where are you going with this? Is it catching up?
The company?
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, we got like 120 some customers, you know, we had a really big growth spurt, I'd say, back in like 2006, 2007. You know, we're growing slowly, but I don't know, I just kind of like providing it. It's a nice kind of, it's not my full-time job, so, you know, for me, I just like knowing that I'm helping provide infrastructure for people doing important work.
So, are you a programmer?
Yeah, that's my day job as well.
What do you do? What kind of language programming do you do?
I'm a Java programmer.
Java.
Yeah, so Soapbox is written in Java, and then that's what I do with my day job.
Right. Well, hey, we've been talking to Paul Preston with soapbox.net.
That's right.
This is Paul Terry Walhus with Spring.net. Thank you.
Ages,
where
they are in the country.
Yeah, I remember doing a reader survey back when I was on Mighty D, and I assume that my readers in Open Left are very similar. But the average age was about 40 years old. Although it wasn't actually a lot of people in their 40s. It was about 1/3 were in their 20s and 1/3 were in their 50s.
Okay.
And so there weren't a lot of people in their 30s and 40s. So it was actually a lot of young people and a lot of middle-aged people. So that's kind of interesting.
Well, you know what it is? I think the middle-aged people are all changing diapers. They don't have as much time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on here because I expected all young people when I came here.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed that, you know, you've got people that are in their later 40s and 50s, and you've got the younger people. I'm thinking, you know what, they're at two stages of life where they can devote a little extra time to this and have the energy to do it. Whereas me, I'm at home and I'm chasing, in the night and coaching baseball. I'm chasing a 4-year-old around, and it's a little bit more challenging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly, although people have suggested that when I do eventually have children, that in theory I could be a stay-at-home dad and still blog that way. I don't know if it'll actually
not
work
going
out
to happen. Not exactly. I mean, you could try, but it's difficult. It's difficult. So how old are you?
I'm 34.
34, okay. So you're getting close to that age.
Yeah. I think a lot of bloggers are roughly my age or a little bit older. It's actually, we're not that young, but we're also not that old. There's a lot of bloggers in their 30s and 40s.
Because you're young enough to understand the technology, be very comfortable with it, and understand this is a way for you to express yourselves, yet you're old enough to have been around the block a little bit, and you kind of understand the way of the world, so you have a unique perspective.
Yeah, and I also think that a lot of us who became full-time bloggers we were at a younger age where we could take that chance, we could take that risk, stop what else we were doing, and see if we could just invent
What were you doing before this?
I was a teacher, actually.
So we lost a great teacher.
I wasn't a very good teacher.
You weren't a good teacher. Did you teach gym? Because those who can't teach are supposed to teach gym.
I taught English.
English, okay.
So how I ended up writing about politics from a largely quantitative focus is somewhat beyond me. But
Now, how about growing up? Were you at all interested in politics?
Always.
Always.
Always. I was always interested in politics, but I didn't really start becoming active in it until I guess my movement into politics was I think, a very similar story that a lot of people here had, where maybe you were always interested in politics, you would always vote, but it was only after a series of major events, starting with the Republican impeachment of Bill Clinton, and then with the stolen 2000 election, and then with 9/11, the build-up to the Iraq War, and there were just a series of right-wing power grabs that, I guess 9/11 doesn't fit into that category, but the exploitation of 9/11 certainly does. There were a series of right-wing power grabs that pushed me beyond just feeling, well, I hope Democrats win, and I hope progressive Democrats win among the Democrats, to thinking I have to do whatever I can to make sure that the country doesn't go in this extreme radical direction that I actually wasn't really aware was even possible until Republicans started getting more power.
And your focus is nationwide, right? It's not just for the presidency, but it's for all these local seats in Congress. And do you all go after state governments, or are you concerned with the Senate and the House and the presidency?
I would say the bulk of our writing on Open Left focus is on the federal government, but I'm also part of what we term online as the silent revolution, where many people are trying to run for Democratic Party seats at the local and county and state level. I'm on both my local Democratic committee and at the precinct level and also at the state level, and there are hundreds or thousands of people doing this nationwide. So all politics is local. You can't build a thriving party unless you build it everywhere. It can't just be centralized in D.C. And the 50-state strategy that was first suggested in Howard Dean's campaign and then came into reality in his chairmanship is something that it's not just a strategy, it's not just a theory, it's something that you have to bring into existence yourself by getting active.
And you're in the blog bunker with me, Vinnie Politan. We're at NetrootsNation. It's a convention of progressive bloggers here in Austin, Texas. And we're speaking with Chris Bowers, managing editor of OpenLeft.com. All right, any thoughts about you getting into politics, being the one that's, running, raising money and then through your own ways changing things?
I think one of the reasons I like blogging is because there's a barrier between me and the people I'm dealing with that tend to be very introverted.
Okay.
I don't think shy is a very good quality for a politician.
No, not at all.
Do
you like to kiss babies?
Sure. Who doesn't like to kiss babies? Babies are cute. But I was sitting next to Mark Begich today as he was doing fundraising calls. He's the Democratic Senate candidate from Alaska, and he's I assume they were cold calls of wealthy Democratic donors, and I had these terrible flashbacks to when I used to work for Nightbird as a kid, knocking on doors and asking for $60, and I was terrible at that. And if you have to run for politics, I guess you have to do that all over again. And I think I prefer being a political activist rather than being an actual elected official.
And how much fun is what you do? I mean, do you really enjoy it, or has it gotten to the point now where it's so big that there are days where you wake up like, oh, I've got to blog, I've got to call this one, I've got to do that, because what I'm gathering from you is that there was this passion I keep talking about that got you started, but now you're at a level where there are expectations each and every day for you. Right?
Oh, it has gotten so much harder. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would say it's probably an 80-20 mix where it still feels like there's no worries about motivating myself. I can write the 30 articles a week that I normally try.
30?
Yes. And then there's lots of other organizing that goes. I've written about 4,400 articles and about 3.5 million words in the last 4 years.
Have you had a chance to write anything while you're here?
Yes, I have 2 posts up today, but that's one of the ironies of Bloggers Conference is that not many of us are blogging.
Right, nobody's blogging. Chris Bowers is with us. So, Chris, what's your ultimate goal here this week, this weekend?
Well, I have some projects that I'm looking to get off the ground, and actually I've had some very successful meetings on those already. And beyond that, I just want to do whatever I can to help further and help build the progressive movement by meeting as many people as possible and spreading as many good ideas as possible, and just making sure that people get to know each other and stay excited.
Now, what are the things that we should be looking for here as we're trying to bring this home to folks across the country? What exactly is happening here? Where are the places we should go? Who are the people we should have on?
I would always make sure you go to see local bloggers. You were talking about bringing me in as like I'm some kind of big rock star. But,
he is.
But sometimes I think that when you have big rock stars and big famous figures, they can sort of come to seem as like a substitute for the movement. Whereas the truth is that it's a broad movement of hundreds of thousands of people, really millions of people, and so you can find it wherever you are, and so finding people here that will just be like in your local area back home, I would definitely suggest that's the place to focus on.
Well, we actually do have a guy from Jersey coming in tomorrow from, and we've had some local Texans on as well. How has Austin been compared to the other venues? You've had this in Vegas, you had it in Chicago.
This is my favorite so far.
Why is it?
Well, you're right in a cool downtown area where you can walk to lots of different venues. Whereas Vegas, it was had a real circus feel to it. In Chicago, we were at a convention center that felt a bit isolated. But Austin, I like this small town. I mean, it's not like Austin's a small city, but smaller town feel where you can get more to know an area, and you can feel more at home.
All right. Well, Chris, look at this. We've got clean energy walking around here.
Hello.
This is great. This is awesome. We've got They're handing stuff out to us as well. We're live at the NetrootsNation Bloggers Convention in Austin, Texas, at the Convention Center in Ballroom D. I've been in the blog bunker. I want to thank Chris Ballard. I know you got to run, you got to get ready to talk to some people, but great to meet you, and thanks so much for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Vinnie. I appreciate it.
All right, openleft.com is where you can read his blogs, and there you go, folks, our first rock star. We got Dirty Cole, and can you put Dirty Cole over here? Dirty Cole.
Here, we can turn this around.
She has his on his costume. Oh, he.
Thanks for inviting. Yeah, he.
I can't even see it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What women's glasses you're wearing, Dirty Cole? You got to turn it off. There we go. It's on. You're Dirty Cole.
Yes, I am Dirty Cole.
What's the message you're sending to the
right now I'm representing the Sierra Club, and maybe.
And she's clean energy.
Everything echoes in this anyways.
Is that the sun? Is that the sun?
Yes, this is the sun representing solar energy.